Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar. So tonight we're talking about pushing through what's holding you back. So as always, it's really important to remember that what we talk about is general information and it may not be specific to you. So if you do want more information that's specific to you, obviously you need to seek advice. And we always strongly recommend that you get in touch with your property mentors as well. So just a quick reminder that you will see in the go-to section on your screen that we do have some session handouts. We have a financial wealth check form and a needs analysis form. I will be explaining what each of those forms are and their purpose, but if you wanted to download those while we're going through the webinar, feel free to do so. So let's have a quick intro to the Property Club. We do have a lot of new members on the line tonight, so I would just like to do a bit of a recap. So who are the Property Club? We're a club of like-minded people who have found a passion for investing in property and setting up for their future. It's a club with a wealth of information, a free club who is happy to share its resources, and the club is paid by the sellers of properties. So as a buyer, you don't pay a cent to the club. The club has years and years of experience in researching and sourcing the best properties. Why are you here? You've all invested your time to be here. Congratulations, that's fantastic news. You're already taking steps for your future. The purpose of our webinars is to talk to you about your future and help point out some ways to set yourself up for retirement and lifestyle choices. It's important to remember that you can actually make a difference to your future. You just need to want to do it and seek assistance from those that can help. And remember, the Property Club are here to help you for free. So a little bit about us. We are Justin and Jenny Watson. We are 32, 33 years old, and we both work full time. We have a toddler whose name is Olivia, and we joined the club in 2009. We became property millionaires in 2012 and became mentors in 2016. So the reason why we became mentors was because the club had given us so much in setting up for our future. We really wanted to give back and start to help others to achieve the same. We became Young Investor Club ambassadors in 2016 and then became the Young Investors Club presidents in 2018. So our main goal as Young Investors Club presidents is to really send home that message to people of our generation that we actually have to do something about our future. Things like super, that's just not going to cut it when we retire, and we're certainly not going to have too much of a pension to give us a lifestyle that we want. So we're really trying to drive home to our friends and to people in our generation that we have to do something to look after ourselves in the future. So let's recap on some previous webinars. So over the last few months, we've talked about the importance of thinking about your retirement. We've talked about the fact that you need to look out for your retirement as no one else is going to do it for you. And your action or lack of action that you take today will affect you in years to come. So decisions that you make today, you need to live with in the future. And one of those decisions, if it is simply not to take action today, well, that does impact you long term. We've also talked about that by waiting to take action, it's actually costing you money. And the sooner you invest in property, the sooner your property values increase. So let's talk about what's holding you back and pushing through. Why do we want to chat to you about this? Very simply. So the reality is that you know you want to take action. You know that you need to do something to set yourself up for financial success in the future. And you've made the realization that no one else is going to look after you and your super isn't going to be enough for financial freedom in the future. For some, all of that's enough to start the ball rolling and to take action. For others, it's a very daunting process and they may have no idea where to start. I know when we purchased our first property, I cried the entire process. It was so overwhelming. And after 5 properties, I don't even blink an eye now. So some will talk themselves out of taking action by finding something wrong with everything that they look at and through every step of the process. So we say, remember why you want and why you need to take action. You made the call that you needed to take action for a reason. Remember it, write it down, look at it every day, visualize it. It will help you stay on track no matter how nervous or excited you are about the decisions that you make. Remember it and come back to your reason note so that it's always in the front of your mind. Once you're committed to the reason and remind yourself of this regularly, you're then able to proactively work through hurdles that may hold you back. So let's explore. We'll focus on 2 different stages, so those who are looking to purchase their first home and those who are looking to simply add to their existing portfolio. So one of the things that might be holding you back, I don't know if I want to purchase an investment property or an owner-occupied property. As property mentors, this is one of the things that we often get told. So think about this, do the math. Talk to your mentor to discuss the pros and cons and consider, can you afford to buy where you need to or where you want to live? If not, to get into the market, you'll need to look at an investment property. So that can help you differentiate what you want to do there quite simply. The amount of rental income you receive may come close to or outweigh any first homeowner grants on offer. So if you're concerned that you might miss out on first homeowner grants by buying an investment, do the math because it may not actually work out that significant. Are you going to live where you are for a long time? If not, think about the future. Again, you'll probably want to look at an investment property so that you're not wasting precious money on government fees and real estate commissions each time you want to buy and sell. What about this? I don't know where to start. I've definitely heard that one as a mentor before. So you've already started by coming along to this webinar, so congratulations, step 1, tick, done. Talk to your mentor to map out the process. We will help hold your hand along the way as much or as little as you want. And remember, millions and millions of people have done it before you and millions of people will do it after you. The first step is to complete a free, easy financial wealth check to understand where you sit financially. This will help you to set your goals. So that's one of the handouts that I mentioned earlier tonight. So feel free to download it, complete it, and then you're able to understand exactly where you are. Set goals. What about, I don't think I have enough of a deposit to make my purchase? Never say never. Take it one step at a time. Break down the process so that it's not such a daunting and overwhelming experience. Again, complete a free, easy financial wealth check to understand where you sit financially because it helps you to set your goals. Then set your goals. Break up your target into little chunks. Regularly chat to your mentor for motivation and to help you stay on point. Save your money. Don't believe everything that the media tells you. Deposits required are based around the cost of the property. So consider a cheaper property. So those big significant deposits that you hear in the media that are required, that's all relative to the property that's being purchased. Use avenues outside of the box. Can you look at the bank of mum and dad? Any grants that might be available? Budget, master your finances. We have a budgeting webinar available on the YouTube channel, which is a really great start at breaking down how to set a budget and how to keep on track. Do you have equity in other property that you could use for your deposit? All things for you to consider. What about the fact that your current property may not have increased in value? Talk to your mentor and your broker and get a second opinion. You don't always have to take what's first as gospel. Push back. If a valuation doesn't seem right, don't be afraid to push back and ask questions. We're often the squeaky wheel when it comes to the banks. They certainly don't like us because we definitely make them work for their money. What's your long-term goal? Maybe you're in a position to add cash in order to get the next purchase. But most importantly, don't panic. At some point, it will go up. It's a long-term investment. And remember, shares go up and down, property goes up and down through price cycles, the price of meat goes up and down, all of which is based on demand, which is always ever changing. One of the big things that we hear when people are talking about not being ready to make a purchase, and they don't necessarily spell out that I'm not mentally ready, but we can read the signs. So not being mentally ready. What does not being mentally ready? It's basically when somebody just isn't in the right headspace to move forward, whether it be they don't know why they're not ready. It could just simply be that they're finding fault in everything and that they can't make those end decisions. So stop talking yourself out of it. Remember back to that note that you wrote about why you want to take action. Talk to your mentor about your concerns. I often say that when it comes to property, your property mentor is your BFF, your best friend for life. So make sure that you are talking to them. They're not going to think you're whinging. They've all experienced it themselves. And they've all had their own fears in the past and can talk to you about how to get through that. Map out the process and break it down. Another common comment that we hear is that I don't like that property, I can't find the right property. Again, stop talking yourself out of it. You don't have to live in it. Remember back to the note, and remember you don't have to be in love with your purchase. It's an investment, not your dream home. Your tenant has to like the property, not you. You won't be living in it. Think about making sacrifices to get into the market. So it may not have all the bells and whistles that you want, but making those sacrifices just to get in is often money well spent. Time spent out of the market is money lost. So remember that if you're not in the market and you don't have a property, then nothing's building in value. So it is money lost. And just think about whether the figures stack up, and your property mentor will be able to help you work through that. I'm too busy to talk about and purchase a property. Who's ever received a call from their property mentor and said, oh, I'm just too busy to talk right now? Make the time. You'll regret not setting time aside to make this happen when you're leading a less than ideal lifestyle in retirement because you dragged your heels in just getting it done. Understand the costs of not taking action. So you're losing money in terms of tax savings every year, loss of equity growth, which is all money going down the drain. So before we close out tonight, I do have a couple of polls that I'd like to run. First one being, is something holding you back from taking action? So if you could just hit yes or no, we'll give it a minute. $15 more seconds. $5 more seconds. Excellent. So 64% of you have indicated that something is holding you back, and 36% have said nothing's holding you back. So obviously for those of you that have determined that something's holding you back, you need to have a think about exactly what is it and talk to your property mentor to work through it and to find solutions. Another poll. So would you like further guidance on pushing through what's holding you back? So 15 more seconds. Okay. So 33% of you have said that you would like further guidance. So I'm going to call out that your first point of call needs to be your property mentor. If you're unsure as to who your property mentor is, you can email yick@propertyclub.com.au and we can determine and pass you on to the appropriate person. And for those of you that do feel like something's holding you back, we'd love to know what you think that is. So we've just got a couple of potentials on the screen there. If you can point out what you feel is holding you back. Okay, most of you have nearly voted. Just a couple more seconds. Okay. So 36% of you don't think that you'll be able to get finance. So really important that you do get in touch with your property mentor because they can point you in the direction of one of our club preferred brokers who are pretty awesome at sorting finances out. And you don't know what you don't know. So it's always really important to get a second opinion, like we said earlier. Can't find a property that you're happy with. So 18% have determined that they can't find a property. So another one of the handouts in tonight's session is a needs analysis form. So this is really important. So by completing this form and submitting it to your property mentor, we can then source the property that you want that fits your needs rather than you trying to fit in with the property. So really simple to complete this form and chat to your mentor about what it is that you are looking for in your next property. 9% don't know where to start. So again, I'm going to call out, you need to touch base with your property mentor. Like we said, break it down. And being nervous about the property market, have a discussion about those things that are making you nervous. Is it things in the media, which we always know the media like to only report on the negative? So really important that you do flush that out. So call to action for tonight, understand your situation, complete a financial wealth check. It's completely free and it's a point to understand your finances and where you are. You need to know your current financial situation in order to set your goals, which is really, really important when building a property portfolio. Download the financial wealth check in the attachments of this webinar. Send it to yick@propertyclub.com.au. We'll pass it on to your property mentor or broker. And if you know where you stand already and you want to tell us what property you want, complete a needs analysis form in the attachments of this webinar and send it through to yick@propertyclub.com.au. That's all for tonight, guys. Really important that we do talk about and work through pushing through what's holding you back. I'll leave the webinar open for another minute or so that you can download those handouts in order to take that action. Thanks, guys.